Take a look at relationships within triangles. Again, go ahead and make a tab. This one you're going to cut to the margin both top and bottom, and the reason you're going to do that is going to make a foldable in this one. So I'm making a tab, cutting top and bottom except for that little tab area. Then I'm going to fold it like hot dog style. Then I'm going to cut out the tab to the end so that the tab stays open and I still have my foldable. Then I need 4 sections. So the easiest way to do this is just take about half, doesn't matter that they're not equal, and cut it down. Take about half and cut it across. Bam. Now I have 4 tabs. Okay, and the titles of your tabs will be angle bisector is the first one. Altitudes is the second. The third one is perpendicular bisector. And the last one is a median. Alright, so let's take a look at each one. So let's start with the angle bisector. Well, what does bi mean? Bi means 2. And then what does a sect mean? It means like to cut something, right? So really what that means is you're cutting into 2. You're cutting the angle into 2. So cuts angle in half is what an angle bisector does. What does that look like? So if you draw an angle bisector cuts that angle in half. This is a listening check. Color in cuts angle in half, meaning each angle is equal. So I'm going to represent that by putting those little ticks. Each angle is equal. So cuts it in half. Real simple. All right, altitudes. Altitudes, when you think of altitudes, what I want you to ask yourself is, do you slant when you get your height measured at the doctor's? Do you slant when you get your height measured at the doctor's? No, you stand up straight. And even the doctor says, look straight ahead so that you can measure from the sole of your feet to the top of your head. So what an altitude is a doctor's visit, a vertical height of a triangle. The vertical height of a triangle. And just like you stand at the doctor's and take the height, you always start from the vertex, which would be the top of your head, and you make a 90-degree angle with the ground because you don't slant. You must make the 90-degree angle with the ground or perpendicular to the ground. This is a listening check. Underline the word always. So what am I talking about? I'm talking about the L. Must have the L. All right, so here's a triangle. Pick a vertex, draw my head. So that's my person's head. You start at the head and you make 90 with the ground. So you go to the ground and you make a 90-degree angle with the ground. This is a listening check. Color in the 90-degree angle in the triangle. All right, so basically makes your L. 90 degrees is your L. So you're looking for the L. All right, perpendicular bisector. Perpendicular. Anytime you see that word perpendicular, I need you to think 90 degrees. 90 degrees, perpendicular. Bisector. So again, bi is 2. Sect is cuts in half, so it cuts it into 2. So, and makes a 90-degree angle. So, makes a 90-degree angle with the ground and cuts the ground in half. This is a listening check. Go ahead and box the word and. Box the word and. So let me draw a triangle, show you what I mean by that. So whatever line I'm going to draw makes 90 with the ground and cuts it in half. So let's cut it in half. That's about the middle right there. So let me draw a line cutting that in half. So the left is equal to the right. And it makes 90. You can see the L. That's a perpendicular bisector. Different from an altitude. An altitude makes 90 with the ground, but it's not equal. Like the ground is not equal to one another. All right, then finally is a median. And what does a median sound like? It sounds like the middle. Okay, so the median is a line segment joining a vertex to the midpoint of the opposing side. It's a line segment joining the vertex to the midpoint of the opposing side. All right, so again, remember the vertex is where you're going to put the person's head, and then you go to the middle of the opposing side. So if my head is on the left-hand side, it goes to the middle. So let me cut this line in half about there, and then your line does that. So again, different from a perpendicular bisector, because a perpendicular bisector cuts it in half, but it must also be 90 degrees. This one does not have to be 90 degrees. So again, you need to know the difference of each definition. Let's practice.